Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. This time we're looking into cellular healing and how it could maybe connect to diabetes.
Oh, yeah. That's a really interesting area.
We found this audio excerpt that leads you through like a visualization exercise.
Uh-huh.
It's designed to help promote healing for people, especially with diabetes, who are trying to recover.
Yeah. It's a fascinating area where mind and body techniques kind of meet with the science behind diabetes management. So we'll be exploring how relaxation and visualization, even the power of belief, might all play a part in handling this complex condition.
Okay. Well, I've always been super curious about those relaxation techniques.
Yeah.
This audio starts with something called progressive muscle relaxation.
Right.
And I've heard it can be really effective.
Oh, it is. It is. What you do is you go through your muscle groups one by one,
Right.
and you tense them up and then let go. So you might start with something simple like clenching your toes. Hold it and then release. And then you work your way up through your calves, your thighs, and so on. The point is to really notice that difference between holding on to tension and just letting go.
So it's not just about relaxing your body, it's about becoming more aware of where you're holding tension in everyday life.
You got it.
Like if you're in a stressful meeting, you might notice that you're clenching your jaw without even realizing it.
Exactly, exactly. And that awareness is key because stress, as we know, can mess with your blood sugar levels.
Right, it's like your body goes into that fight or flight mode, pumping out cortisol, and suddenly lunch isn't cutting it anymore.
You're exactly right. Stress hormones, especially cortisol, they directly affect how your body produces insulin and regulates glucose. So learning to deeply relax using techniques like this progressive muscle relaxation can potentially help counteract those stress responses.
So it's like hitting the reset button on your body's stress response system. I see. And then the audio goes into the super vivid visualization. It's like you're transported to a peaceful meadow, blue sky above, a bird gracefully landing on a branch.
Oh, nice.
Then you focus on a leaf, slowly detaching and floating to the ground.
It's amazing how that imagery uses the power of mindfulness.
Yeah.
By focusing on these simple, natural things, your mind shifts away from all the worries and anxieties.
It reminds me of studies I've seen. Spending time in nature can actually lower cortisol levels and boost your mood.
Right.
So it's like you're bringing those benefits of nature into your mind, even if you can't physically be outdoors.
That's a great point, a great connection. Creating that sense of peace is especially important for managing a condition like diabetes. When you reduce stress, you're potentially creating a better environment for your body to regulate blood sugar.
It's like calming the internal storm so your body can focus on what it needs to do. Okay, and speaking of journeys, the audio then guides you down, like down a thick carpeted stairway. Each step takes you deeper into relaxation.
I like that. The stairway is a powerful symbol. It's like descending into your subconscious, that hidden area where a lot of healing and regeneration happens.
Oh, okay. So we're going beyond simple relaxation now. We're tapping into the power of the subconscious mind, which I've heard is incredibly open to suggestion and change. It makes me wonder if this is where that connection to cellular healing starts to form.
That's a really interesting possibility, and the audio builds on this by taking you to the Gulf of Mexico. You're gently rocking in a chair on the beach, watching the waves just wash away stress and tension.
Oh, that's such a serene and calming image. It makes me think about how we often hold on to stress like it's a physical weight, and how this visualization is encouraging a release, a letting go of that burden.
Exactly. And for someone dealing with a chronic condition like diabetes, where stress can play such a big role in how you manage symptoms, that feeling of release can be really empowering.
It's like saying to your body, it's okay to let go, to relax, to trust in your ability to heal. And then things get even more interesting. The audio specifically mentions stem cells and their potential role in diabetes recovery.
Right. This is where the audio brings together ancient mind-body techniques with modern science. It's suggesting that maybe through visualization, we can tap into the power of stem cells to repair and regenerate those damaged pancreatic cells.
Okay, so before we get into the stem cells, which I'm really excited about, can you give us a quick rundown on what stem cells are and why they're so important when it comes to diabetes?
Sure. Basically, stem cells are like the body's master cells.
Okay.
They have this amazing ability to develop into different cell types, so they have the potential to repair or replace damaged tissues all throughout the body.
So for diabetes, we're talking about the possibility of stem cells being used to repair or replace the cells in the pancreas that produce insulin, the ones that are damaged or destroyed.
Exactly. And that's why stem cell research holds so much promise for treating diabetes.
Hmm.
If we can figure out how to harness the power of stem cells, we might be able to get insulin production back on track and basically reverse the course of diabetes.
It's like the holy grail of diabetes research, wouldn't you say?
It's definitely one of the most exciting frontiers. And the audio, by bringing in this idea of visualizing stem cells at work, it's essentially asking, can we use the power of our minds to influence the activity of these incredible cells?
That's a question that's definitely going to make our listeners think. And I'm really interested to explore that further.
Me too, me too.
Yeah.
But before we jump into that, I think it's important to point out that the audio doesn't just focus on the science of stem cells. It also really emphasizes the power of belief in the healing process.
Right. It specifically encourages the listener to believe in the possibility of a full recovery from diabetes, which is a really strong message.
It is. And it speaks to that mind-body connection. The idea that our thoughts and beliefs can actually have a real, measurable impact on our physical health.
It's almost like creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. If we believe we can heal, our bodies are more likely to follow suit.
That's a great way to put it. And while we don't completely understand how it all works, there's more and more evidence showing that positive beliefs and expectations can trigger actual physical changes in the body that promote healing.
So even if the visualization itself doesn't directly lead to cellular healing, it could still create a better environment inside the body for healing to happen.
Exactly. And that's why the mind-body connection is such a crucial part of any holistic approach to health and well-being.
It's like recognizing that healing isn't just about treating the physical symptoms, it's about taking care of our mental and emotional well-being too. Those things play a huge role in our overall health.
Absolutely. It's really interesting how this audio walks you through this very specific muscle relaxation. Like you tighten and release each muscle group, starting with your toes and working all the way up to your forehead.
Oh, wow. So it's like a full body scan, bringing awareness to each part of you and then consciously letting go of any tension.
Right. Is there any scientific backing to this, or is it just a relaxation technique?
It's actually both. What's really amazing is how this simple technique can have these big physical effects. When you relax your muscles, your heart rate slows down, you start breathing deeper, and your blood pressure goes down. All these changes tell your body it's safe to switch from fight or flight to more of a rest and digest mode.
Gotcha. So it's like flipping a switch in your nervous system, going from high alert to calm and ready to repair.
Yeah, exactly. And that switch is super important to let your body focus on healing and repair. When we're constantly stressed, our bodies pump out hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which can mess with insulin production and how our blood sugar is regulated. So by relaxing deeply, we're basically giving our bodies a chance to reset and get everything working properly again.
It's almost like giving your insides a break, like a much-needed vacation from the daily grind.
I like that, yeah. Then the audio takes you on this journey through these incredibly vivid visualizations, like you're in a peaceful meadow, blue skies, and a gentle breeze rustling through the grass. It's like stepping into a painting.
Oh, that's nice. This kind of guided imagery is really powerful for tapping into your subconscious mind. When you create these mental pictures, you're basically bypassing that critical, analytical part of your brain and going deeper.
Okay, so it's like speaking the language of your subconscious, using symbols and metaphors to talk directly to the part of you that controls healing and regeneration. But isn't that kind of like the placebo effect? Is there any science that shows this kind of visualization can really affect our physical health?
That's a great question. The answer is, well, it's complicated. We don't fully understand how the placebo effect works, but there's growing scientific evidence that shows mindfulness and visualization techniques can help manage chronic conditions like diabetes. Studies have shown that these practices can help lower stress, make sleep better, and even lower blood sugar levels.
So even if we can't definitively say visualization alone can cure diabetes, it seems like there's more and more research that suggests it can help manage the condition.
Exactly. And it's not just about those direct physical effects either. Visualization can also help create a more positive mindset, which can lead to people sticking to their treatment plans and taking a more active role in their self-care.
It's like becoming an active participant in your healing rather than just passively receiving treatment.
That's a good way to put it. And the specific images used in this visualization are carefully chosen to make you feel peaceful, tranquil, and connected to nature. There's just something inherently calming about watching a bird land on a branch or a leaf falling to the ground.
It's funny because research has shown that spending time in nature can actually have a positive impact on blood sugar levels. So even just visualizing those natural elements could maybe have a similar effect, even if it's not as strong.
Yeah, that's a great point. It really highlights how interconnected our minds and bodies are, and how even just our thoughts and perceptions can influence our physical health.
And speaking of connections, the audio takes things a step further. It introduces the visualization of stem cells actively repairing damaged pancreatic cells.
Oh, wow.
It talks about them dividing, differentiating, and turning into new pancreatic cells, including those beta cells that produce insulin.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it's like watching a microscopic construction crew rebuilding your pancreas.
While we don't have proof yet that visualization alone can directly affect stem cell activity, this imagery taps into a powerful concept, using the mind-body connection to support healing. It's about aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and intentions with what you want to achieve.
So it's not about saying you can magically heal your pancreas just by thinking about it, but it's more about creating a mental and emotional environment that helps healing happen.
You got it. And even if the direct impact on stem cells is still unclear, there's no doubt that having a positive mindset and believing in the possibility of healing can be incredibly beneficial. This can make people more motivated to make healthy choices, stick to their treatment plans, and be more resilient when managing the challenges of diabetes.
It's like setting a clear goal for your body to heal and then giving it the mental and emotional support it needs to make that happen.
Absolutely. That highlights how important it is to not underestimate the power of the mind in healing. Our thoughts, beliefs, and expectations have a huge impact on our physical health.
The audio goes on to describe how stem cells could potentially boost insulin production, regulate blood sugar levels, and even change how the body absorbs and stores glucose. It paints a very hopeful picture of what stem cell therapy could do.
Yeah, and while we need to be careful about overstating what stem cell therapy can do for diabetes right now, the potential is definitely there.
Yeah.
Researchers are making great progress in figuring out how to manipulate stem cells to create insulin-producing cells. They're also exploring ways to safely transplant these cells into patients.
It's pretty exciting to think about the possibilities, even if it's still a few years away.
Definitely.
And in the meantime, the audio offers these techniques that we can use to potentially help our bodies heal.
Exactly. And practices like visualization and mindfulness can be really valuable tools for overall well-being and creating a sense of hope and empowerment.
It emphasizes believing in the possibility of fully recovering from diabetes. It's like planting a seed of hope in the listener's mind, encouraging them to embrace the potential for healing.
That's where the power of the placebo effect comes in. We know that positive beliefs and expectations can actually trigger physical changes in the body.
Oh, wow.
When we believe something will help us heal, our brains release chemicals that can actually promote healing.
It's like our minds have their own pharmacy, giving out feel-good chemicals that support our well-being. I've always been a little skeptical of the placebo effect, but when you really think about it, it makes sense that our beliefs and expectations would affect our physical health.
It's a fascinating area of research, and it really challenges how we traditionally think about the mind-body connection. It suggests that our minds aren't just passively observing what's happening in our bodies. They're actively involved in shaping those experiences.
That's incredible, and it really highlights how important it is to pay attention to our thoughts and beliefs, especially when we're dealing with a chronic condition like diabetes.
Absolutely. And it's important to remember that the placebo effect isn't about tricking anyone. It's about tapping into the natural healing power that our minds and bodies already have.
Okay, so the audio then takes you to the beach at the Gulf of Mexico.
Nice.
You can see the waves gently rolling in and out. You're sitting in a rocking chair, feeling that rhythm of the ocean, and with each wave, you're letting go of stress and tension. It's a very calming picture.
It is.
But why the Gulf of Mexico? Is there a reason they chose that spot?
That's a great question. I think they picked the Gulf of Mexico on purpose.
Yeah.
It brings up feelings of warmth, serenity, and vastness.
Oh, okay.
It's like you're surrounded by this huge body of water that can just absorb all your worries and stress.
It's almost like a visual representation of all the possibilities that are inside us.
Yeah, exactly. And the rocking of the chair adds another layer to the experience. It enhances the feeling of relaxation and letting go.
Like being gently lulled into a state of deep peace and quiet.
Exactly. And by putting you in this peaceful setting, the audio is basically creating the perfect environment for your subconscious mind to be open to those suggestions for healing.
It's like setting the stage for change, creating a space where positive things can happen.
Exactly. It's worth noting that this visualization doesn't directly mention diabetes. It's simply about creating a state of deep relaxation and releasing stress, which is good for anyone regardless of their health.
It's a good reminder that sometimes the simplest things are the most effective.
Absolutely. And that Taking time for self-care and relaxation isn't a luxury. It's essential for staying healthy overall.
The audio then kind of shifts gears and starts talking about stem cells and their role in diabetes recovery.
Hmm.
It encourages you to visualize your stem cells working to regenerate pancreatic cells and improve insulin production. Do you think this shift is too sudden, going from relaxation to stem cell science?
It's an interesting transition for sure. The audio is trying to bridge the gap between mind-body techniques and the cutting-edge science of stem cell therapy.
Okay.
While we don't have solid proof that just visualizing can directly affect stem cell activity, the imagery is really powerful.
So it's like trying to tap into the potential of our thoughts and beliefs to actually influence our physical health.
Exactly. It's inviting the listener to really imagine those stem cells working hard to restore balance in their body.
It's like giving your subconscious a blueprint for healing, showing it
Exactly.
the way to restore balance and get your vitality back.
That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
And the audio emphasizes repetition. It encourages you to do this visualization regularly to reinforce those positive messages and let them sink in.
It's like tending a garden, giving it consistent attention and care so that it can bloom. I'm curious, since the audio doesn't really explain the different types of stem cells, could you give us a bit more info on that?
Absolutely. Stem cells are actually pretty diverse. You have embryonic stem cells, which can become any cell in the body, and then there are adult stem cells, which are more specialized and usually only create certain types of cells.
Okay, so when we're talking about diabetes, which type of stem cell would be most relevant?
For diabetes treatment, researchers are mostly focused on using adult stem cells.
Okay.
They're looking at ways to either genetically manipulate these cells or expose them to specific growth factors to make them turn into those insulin-producing beta cells.
Wow, it's amazing to think about the level of precision in this research. It's like we're learning how to talk to cells, guiding them to do specific things that could totally change how we treat diseases like diabetes.
It really is an exciting field. While there are still a lot of challenges, the progress is incredible.
And while we wait for the science to catch up to our hopes, the audio suggests using visualization as a tool to possibly support the healing process.
That's right. It's about being proactive about our health and realizing we have more control than we think.
It's about using the power of our minds and our beliefs to set the stage for healing. And I think that's a message that anyone facing a health challenge can really connect with. This audio really seems to tap into that deep desire we have, to heal and feel whole again.
Hmm.
And it does that by combining ancient wisdom with modern science.
Exactly. It's like it's saying, hey, we have all these amazing tools within us, both physical and mental.
Yeah.
We can use them to help our bodies heal.
The audio specifically mentions stem cells potentially boosting insulin production and getting blood sugar back to normal. It creates this image of these tiny cells working nonstop to bring balance back to the body. Do you think this visualization could actually have an effect on stem cell activity, or is it more about creating a positive mindset?
That's a really interesting question, and it's something researchers are still trying to figure out. We know that our thoughts and beliefs can have a big impact on our physical health,
Mm-hmm.
but whether that extends to directly affecting stem cell activity is still being debated.
So we're kind of on the edge of what we know scientifically, and even though we may not have all the answers yet, we're open to exploring what's possible.
Exactly. That's what makes this visualization so fascinating. It's encouraging us to consider that our minds might be able to influence our biology in ways we don't fully grasp yet.
Yeah, like we're expanding our understanding of what healing can be.
Exactly. And even if we can't say for sure that visualization alone can directly get those stem cells going, there's no denying the benefits of a positive mindset and believing in the possibility of healing.
It's like creating a space within yourself where healing can take root and grow.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And that change in perspective can be so empowering for someone dealing with a chronic condition like diabetes.
The audio also talks about stem cells maybe influencing how our bodies absorb and store glucose, leading to better energy use and overall metabolic health. It's suggesting that stem cells could help improve insulin sensitivity, not just replace those damaged beta cells.
That's right. And it's an area that's being actively researched in the diabetes field. Scientists are looking into how stem cells could be used to boost the body's natural ability to respond to insulin and use glucose for energy effectively.
So it's not just about producing more insulin, it's about making sure the body can use glucose properly at the cellular level.
Exactly. This highlights how complex diabetes is as a condition. It affects many systems in the body. It's a multifaceted metabolic disorder.
It's like we're starting to see diabetes from a new angle. We're understanding how everything is connected and how stem cell therapy might be able to address all those different challenges.
Right. And the more we learn about how the body works, the more we see how stem cells could potentially restore balance to all those interconnected systems. Not just treat the symptoms, but really get to the root of the problem.
It's like shifting from managing the disease to truly healing it, getting to the core of what's causing it, not just masking the symptoms.
That's a powerful shift in thinking.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's ultimately what this visualization aims to do. It's inviting us to imagine a future where healing is not just possible, but likely, where we tap into our natural ability to repair and regenerate ourselves.
And it's reminding us that we're not just watching this happen. We can take part in our own healing, make choices that support our well-being, and cultivate a mindset that encourages resilience and transformation.
It's a beautiful message of hope and empowerment. And while we're still learning about stem cell therapy, the potential is definitely there.
And until then, we have these powerful tools we can use: relaxation techniques, mindfulness, and visualization to support our bodies and minds in healing. This deep dive has been amazing, exploring cellular healing, the complexities of diabetes, and the incredible connection between our minds and bodies.
It's been a good reminder that healing is a journey, not just a destination, and that we have more control over our health and well-being than we often realize.
Absolutely. So we encourage you to keep exploring these ideas, try out the techniques that speak to you, and most importantly, believe in the possibility of healing, both for yourself and those you care about.
And as always, remember to approach any new health information with a critical eye, talk to your healthcare providers, and trust your own inner wisdom to guide you on your own unique path to well-being.
Thanks for joining us on another deep dive. We'll be back soon to explore more of the fascinating world of science, health, and